Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Week 3 edition of Friday Football Fever, where we've got a ton to get to tonight, including both United and Nixon hitting the road, looking to bounce back after 1-point losses, plus United South taking on a powerhouse program over the SAC, and our latest player of the week honors to hand out. But first, we start with our only All-Laredo battle of the evening between a couple of schools that rep the South Side, Cigarroa and LBJ, meeting up at Shirley Field tonight. The Toros coming off a big come-from-behind victory over Nixon last week, while the Wolves in search of their first win of the season. After the opening drive for LBJ fizzled out in the red zone, the Toros getting to work right away, and it only takes one play for Jacob Lozano to bust into the clear. He's got the sideline, no one going to catch him. 82 yards later, the young man, though, misses the PAT, so it's only 6-0 Cigarroa. On the very next drive for LBJ, trying to get something going, Juan Gamez snagging the QB. Then Ronaldo Valles going to clean it up, a big sack. The Wolves would end up having to punt this one away. Cigarroa with a short field. They go to who else? Lozano again, this time hitting the hole. No one is there. 24 yards later, making a 13-0 game as he connects as the kicker. After another Wolves drive going to stall out their defense, they're going to come over, they stop, they do just that. A big pop here on 3rd and short, going to force the punt. It doesn't take long for LBJ's offense to finally make it pay off. Raul Cantu back deep. He's going to go to the air, finding his favorite target, Gerardo Mendoza, right on the money, making a 13-7 game. Just like that, LBJ back in the hunt. How would the Toros respond? Running that Wildcat again, and hey, maybe you've heard of this guy, Jacob Lozano. Blockers in front of him, clearing a path. He does the rest. The third score of the half, make it 20-7 just before the break. Looked like Cigarroa would take momentum into the half, but the Wolves would not wilt away. Cantu going deep again for Mendoza, the receiver, fighting off a pair of Toros, and then wins the foot race to the end zone. 66 yards to the house, 20-14 at the half. After the break, though, it's all Toros. Cigarroa outscores LBJ 20-0 in the second half for a 26-point win. Lozano adding his 4th touchdown of the game. It's the first time in 7 seasons that Cigarroa had back-to-back wins. Next up, we head over to the SAC. United South back at home hosting Bernie Champion. The Panthers, fresh off a shutout victory last Friday, hoping to make it 2 in a row. Well, early in the first quarter, no score. Champion going to change that deep in the South territory. The play fake, then the receiver. Just like that, the shutout is gone, make it 7-0 Champion. On the ensuing drive, the Panthers trying to get something cooking. Luis Cisneros, a little dump pass to David Diaz for a gain. He's going to move the chains, but the drive would ultimately stall out. The Chargers trapped on their own end now, going to the air again. This time, South is ready. Ray Trevino there to knock that one to the ground. Later in the drive, Bernie's QB going to roll out, can't find anyone. Gavin Espinosa flying in for the sack and a loss of yards on this one. South defense trying to get off the field. Midway through the second quarter, it's still 7-0, but not for long. The Chargers 1st and goal from the 5, just enough to cross the goal line, make it 14-0. The Panthers make a game of it down the stretch, but can't come all the way back. They fall to Bernie Champion 24-12. We're just getting cooking here on Friday Football Fever. When we get back, it's time to head out of town with 2 teams out in the Valley, plus the Badgers at home. All that when we return. It wasn't just games in town tonight. We had a handful of teams hitting the road, including a pair down in the Valley. We started in Harlingen, where the Longhorns trying to bounce back from a 1-point loss last week. Middle of first quarter, the Cardinals already with the lead, going for more, trying to get a little tricky, but Alex Lopez having none of it, beating the receiver to the pass, coming up with the INT. We're headed the other way. The Longhorns offense not going to be able to get points on Harlingen, and so the Cardinals offense back to work, and their big back, Isaiah Bell, tormented South 2 weeks ago, doing the same to United tonight, rumbling in for a short touchdown there. Harlingen would add another score in the quarter, and just before the half, the Longhorns need to get something going. The long pass to Luz Leal, the third. Nice diving snag there to move the chains, but the damage is done early as the Longhorns get a couple of late scores. They fall 38-14 down in the Valley. Over to Weslaco for the Mustangs and Panthers. Nixon coming off a heartbreaking loss last Friday as well, trying to bounce back tonight. Early on, not looking good. Justin Rodriguez from Weslaco, the big run, faking the handoff and then keeping it himself. Going to get Weslaco down deep inside Nixon territory. On the same drive, the Panthers going right back to Rodriguez. This time, though, he's got enough room to find Paydirt. Weslaco on the board first. They lead this one 7-0. On the next drive, Nixon going to end up being pinned down deep in their own territory and just kind of trying to look to get something going. A little breathing room. Ray Gonzalez rolling out right on the money to Michael Eller, moving those chains. But Nixon's defense, They get a safety, and that's all the points the green and gold can muster as Weslaco hands the Mustangs a tough 49-2 loss. Well, let's move over to Bruny. The Badgers over there taking on Three Rivers. These two perennially league playoff teams looking to get a possible playoff matchup going here early on as the Bulldogs finding pay dirt there. They're going to lead this one early 29-0. Bruny going to come back. A nice pitch and catch here on the rollout. The receiver wide open 4-6. Bruny then on the PAT, not settled for one. Instead, the snap going to be a little bit high, and Joseph Faivan going to carry this one in himself, slicing through to the fence. That gets Bruny on the board with 8 points, make it 29-8. But the good feeling's not going to last long. The next drive, the Bulldogs making quick work of it, right back down for another score. About a 35-8 game after this one is Bruny. This one hasn't gone final just yet. 55-22 the score late in the fourth quarter. So looks like the Badgers going to take another loss this evening. Let's check out our scores tonight from games we couldn't get to. Zapata, they go up to Crystal City. Somebody break up the Hawks. 28-0 over the Javelinas. Zapata improves to 3-0 on the season. And if that was a big one, how about Hebbronville, the Longhorns, over in Falfurrias, taking it to the Jerseys. 51-0 for Hebbronville. Battle of two teams very close to each other there. I know the guys in Hebbronville probably wanted to come out with a big victory after roughing up Freer last week. They do just that over Falfurrias. We're just getting started. When we get back, it's time to hand out some hardware with our latest player of the week. Plus a look back at the Thursday night games. That's all coming up when Friday Football Fever returns. It's that time of the show where we get to take a step back and honor the best of the best from the previous week. Tonight, we head over to United South. Our latest Player of the Week honor goes to a Panther that was instrumental in the team picking up a shutout just last week. Wentz Lopez racked up 7 tackles. 2 of those were tackles for a loss and 1 interception. United South blinked South San 28-0. Lopez did all this while playing out of position, stepping up from his safety spot to linebacker because it became a position of need for the Panthers.
When one of our guys was injured and say, you know what, I'll step up and try to, you know, to step up in his shoes, which is not easy to do. You know, we're so proud of him, man, to come up and you know, be a real role model like that and take on that challenge is you know, is humbling.
Congratulations to Lopez and all the guys at United South on this award, and be sure to tune in every Friday night to see who we get to honor as our next Player of the Week. The football weekend got underway last night, and not a pretty one for either of our Laredo schools. Over the Sac, Alexander used a ball control approach, eating up the entire first quarter on their opening drive, only to stall out inside the red zone. They would end up with 3 points in the opening minute of the second quarter. But from there, it's all Wagner. The Thunderbirds score quickly with their opening possession, hold the Bulldogs to a 3-and-out, and then find the end zone again for a 14-3 lead at the half, and it never got any better for the Bulldogs. They can't stop Wagner after the break, falling 41-3. Alexander now 0-3 on the season. Next up for them, battle with Rio Grande City on Thursday night, right back at the Sac. And over at Shirley Field, the news not any better for the Tigers. They played host to Del Rio. Martin, they would fall behind early and never able to get any footing against a 6A school. The Tigers and Rams both entered with 0-2 records, but Martin would be without starting quarterback and defensive back Ronald Cham. This one would be 51-0 before the Tigers were able to break through to find the end zone in the fourth quarter. With all the scoring they get, though, Martin, they fall 58-6. Next up for the Tigers, a trip to the Valley. They will face La Grula 1 week from tonight. And our KGNS King of the Mountain voting is in for week 1. The winner is Alan Pena and the Zapata Hawks. Thanks to the second quarter catch and rumble in the team's week 1 victory over Figueroa. Pena refusing to go to the ground as he would score his second touchdown of the game. Zapata will come out to vote, especially on Facebook, as we had over 1,000 votes cast. The majority of them tossed Pena's way as he moves on to face the best play from this weekend. Let you know about that coming up later this week. Well, that's going to do it for us here on Friday Football Fever. Once again, Figueroa coming out another big second half. Again, the 3rd week in a row, they come out of the break and have a huge second half. They come up with a win over LBJ. Meanwhile, everybody else from Laredo goes down in defeat tonight, so another rough weekend for the Laredo squads. Well, that's going to do it for us here on a Friday Football Fever. We'll see you back here next week. More highlights and scores, your only place to get it here in Laredo. Have a great weekend, everybody.